were 4 drivers, unfortunately for them, that didn't make it. One is the very popular Martin Truex Jr.
Stages, we got a lot of points, and then, I guess we would have had to run second or third to be able to make it through. Who knows if we would have been able to. I wish we could have seen if we could do that. 0.09 miles an hour, and just gutted for my team. Worked so hard this week, and we all put in a lot, really all season long, and in the last 3 weeks, just, I don't know, just snake bit. Can't do anything right.
0.09 miles an hour, Alexis. He's alluding to the difference that cost him a pit road speeding penalty that took him from running second and third and put him in the back of the pack, and he never recovered.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because I thought, for the first half of that race that it was going to be the opportunity for him to make it into the next round. And we've talked about Martin on the show so many times, how he has just been a joy to cover over the years. And you don't really pull for anybody, but, someone like him you want to see do well in their last season. And when he got that speeding penalty and could just not get back up there, you knew that was going to be the nail in the coffin for his last playoff hopes. And it's just unfortunate to have that weight on his shoulders, because that was all him. That was the driver mistake.
And Brad, the way that race played out, there were no opportunities to gain spots back with cautions and things because most of the race was green after that.
There was never another caution after that speeding penalty. And look, this is going to be a bit of an embellished statement, but it illustrates their season. If we never had to make pit stops this year, Martin Truex Jr. probably would have won the regular season championship.
Yeah.
Everything that happened to them throughout the year, bad luck-wise, was whenever that car came down pit road. And whether it was from the driver's seat or from the people going over the wall, it's been a mistake-laden season for them.
And I think now they've got to concentrate on trying to win a race in his final season. I think that's going to be harder, too, because obviously all the attention, and tell me if I'm wrong here, at Joe Gibbs Racing is going to go into the 2 cars that are still battling for a title, Alexis.
Of course. I mean, that's what any organization would do. You could go to them and you could ask, and they would say, oh, well, no, we give equal. Everything is equal to all 4 of our drivers. But that, I don't know if I buy that.
Look, if there's an engine that has 2 more horsepower, if there is a chassis that just measures a little bit better than the others, those are all going to Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell. I mean,
exactly.
that's the reality. Well,
yes.
That can. That is new things coming in. I mean, once they get that chassis, it's got to stick with Truex. But still, I mean, that's just the reality of the way things are going to go. And if I was running the team, that's the way it would be.
Sure.
Well, while we're talking about Joe Gibbs Racing, Ty Gibbs didn't make the cut. That's not a shocker for me, Brad, but I think he proved his mettle, especially in the first half of the season.
I would agree. Ty Gibbs, there were a lot of things he did at the beginning of the season where you thought, oh, man, that win is coming. We all thought it was imminent. And then things soften up for them. But, boy, in the playoffs, they've really come back. And really late summer, they've come back. And the same thing that hurt Martin Truex Jr. on Saturday night was the same thing that hurt Ty Gibbs. Came in at +6, had a speeding penalty on the pit stop cycle at stage 1, and never recovered from that. But this was his first appearance in a Cup Series playoffs. And I think they can still have a respectable run throughout the rest of the year.
What do we always say? Don't beat yourself. And unfortunately, in those 2 scenarios, they beat themselves.
I want to say something about Ty Gibbs. At the first of the year, I dreaded interviewing him because he gives you 3-word answers, and he didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talked to him at the premiere this year, that's the attitude he gave off. When we talked to him at the championship media day, when they brought in the 16 drivers, his attitude's turned around a lot. He's never going to be that glib guy that's talking off the cuff, but I think he's even growing into the responsibility of what it is to be a Cup driver. And part of that is creating a good image with the media. And I'm complimenting him here.
He's maturing as a man.
I'm giving him some credit here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'm not the only person that saw that. I know you guys did, and I've talked to other people, and they said, yeah, this time around, he was personable and didn't act like he was being, led to the gallows. So,
well, that's what you want. You want an evolution of that. It would be one thing if he just continued to be that and didn't improve on, because that is part of the job, and the fact that he has kind of seen that and recognized that, and we can tell that he's made an effort there is what you want to see.
It's a big part of the job.
Yeah.
And I congratulate him on that. Harrison Burton didn't make the cut. Brad, no surprise there, but I'm glad that he had that moment in the sun at Daytona.
You know what? Next year, he's going back Xfinity Racing with AM Racing. They have an alliance with Stuart Haas, or what's going to be Haas factory teams next year. But what a great way to go out, to get their 100th win for Wood Brothers. And again, the expectation was not going to be that they were going to make it out of round one, but regardless, they were a playoffs team this year. They went from 34th in the standings, literally last of all of the full-time drivers. The worst they will finish now is 16th. So that is a great feel-good story.
So congrats to them for making it to the playoffs and early exit, not surprising there. Brad Keselowski. We've talked a lot about Brad. Brad took over a franchise operation from Roush Racing and turned it around, made them championship quality team. Now they don't have any cars left in the playoffs, but Alexis, you got to be happy for Brad that he won a big race this year. He won at Darlington. They made it to the playoffs, but it felt like, I don't know, in the last half dozen races, that car's just not been fast.
Yeah, I think RFK as a whole, even though he didn't have any wins last year, he was able to get the win this year. But Chris Buescher, had a 3-win season last year, only has a 1-win season this year. I think this season seems to be a little bit lacking when you compare it to last season for RFK. The fact that they did put a car into the playoffs, unfortunately out in the first round. But, that was going to be the case, in my opinion, with that team. When he came on board, they were going to need to do some work to get that organization up. And it wasn't going to be something that was going to happen, at the snap of your fingers. It's going to take time. Obviously, we know Brad Keselowski is a great driver. He's a championship driver. Chris Buescher has proven himself as a very good driver. I see only great things for that organization going forward, but that rebuilding process from what it was pre-RFK is still happening. And so I think, in my opinion, they should be proud of what they were able to do this year. I'm sure Brad is gutted that he did not make it out of the first round, and Chris is gutted that he didn't even make it in the playoffs this year. But I still think that organization is on the upswing.
Brad, do you think they're already planning at RFK what it's going to be like post Brad in the cockpit?
Maybe so. And I agree with Alexis that they should be proud, but I disagree that, and I'll say they should also be disappointed. This is a team that Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski went from 21st and 24th in 2022 to 7th and 8th in 2023, both in the playoffs. Now, while they've both won this year, I think when you get up that high, now they should say, this isn't good. This isn't right. We are better than this. And depending on what happens next year, they might be some sort of a hybrid 3-car organization.
Right.
And I think that is going to help continue to build them, again, to Alexis' point. But sure, Brad's in his 40s. You have to look at what's next.
No, you have to. And I think at the company Christmas party this year, you better have one, Brad. It won't be the same excitement that it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Just to your point, the numbers don't add up. And Brad Keselowski is a very practical guy. And I can promise you he's already analytically breaking down what they did and what they're going to try to do next year.